Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Host of Talking with Famous People. I decided to start streaming mostly because I got an email from Mackenzie asking me to stream. But also because it's kind of a it's quite a day today. Quite a day. Uh, you know, not an especially good day, but a day of some significance. Thanks, Rachel. Um, so my mom was moved from the nursing home to the hospital today, and we'll see if she ends up staying there or not. My dad got back from the neurologist this morning. We was with my mom and said she doesn't have a lot of time left, I guess. And then, but of more significance than that to me is that my dad expressed to me that he's suffering from depression and has been for a while, and you know, we need to be talking about funeral arrangements for my mom soon and stuff like that. And then he has COVID again. Rachel and I still have COVID again, and it's like I really don't feel very well today. I feel pretty sick. Um, and so, most troubling to me of all these news is that my dad is depressed. That hurts my heart. Makes me feel like I've been not doing a good job as a son or a family member of engaging him enough or something. It's like he makes it difficult to connect, but it's nevertheless the case that I've been not good about connecting too. It's really hard for me to benefit him because of our cognitive function stacks. I'm not intentionally configured to be beneficial to him. It's intentionally configured to be the other way around. So my dad just got back from the doctor where he got some new doctor to prescribe him 5 Ativans, which are some kind of benzo, so that he can sleep tonight or at night, and not be tossing and turning, which I guess he must have been last night or something. I don't know, but he's experiencing at the same time today a resurgence of COVID or a reinfection of it, one of the two. We've involved my daughter. I'm calling her, and she wants to go visit my mom at the hospital. Delilah doesn't have COVID, and interestingly, throughout this whole thing, my mom still doesn't have COVID. She's just reached a point of dementia where she's basically stopped eating, and and my parents being my parents, they have all laid out in legal documents all their wishes for things, and my mom made clear she wants no feeding tubes, no meow, no meow, no meow. So we'll see what happens with that. For me, though, I perceive it as my mom died some time back. Really, Obviously, her physical departure from this earth is going to be a substantial occasion. And emotionally very heavy, but it's going to be a lot heavier for my dad than it is for me. Because when you're unipolar, you don't understand people as their identity so much as their experience, you know? And my dad's been a lot better about visiting my mom and stuff than I have, because I see kind of a big picture reality, which is visiting my mom has always had a very short lasting impact, you know, like she might recognize us, she might be happy to see us, or maybe not, but she's very much trapped in her experience regardless. And but I hate to think of her dying alone in the hospital because we can't be there because we have COVID or something. But I mean, she won't know the difference, you know. And then before we're going in to take a nap this afternoon, Rachel saw out on the lawn in the middle of the afternoon, an unusual time to see them really, this big mama possum with a bunch of baby possums on its back. And we watched it go under the deck. And I said to her, it seems to be some kind of omen. I don't know what of, but, you know, if anything represents generational change, it's possums. They got short lifespans, especially city possums. And somehow, you know, that possum is an omen of life and death and rebirth or something like that. I wonder what would happen if I were to pull some tarot cards right now. Let's see. I guess I'll do a 5 pull. One for my dad. Oh, actually, this is for my mom in the center. Put mom in the center. We'll put dad at the top. Three cards fell out. Delilah, Rachel, and me. Alright, so my dad's card, he got this one. I'm actually not sure what it is. It's number 8. House of Cards? Standing on top of a house of cards? What's number 8? Anybody know what this one is? It doesn't say on it what it is. It was fine. I saw it walk under the thing. It looked fine. Strength. That's what my dad's got. No, that's my mom. I'm sorry. I said that was my mom in the middle. But then I said it was my dad when I pulled it. I got this one was actually upside down. This is for my dad. 6 of Swords. I mean, what a spooky picture, huh? I'll just leave it right side up. We got me on the bottom. 5 of Cups. That's the crying over spilled milk card, right? This is the guy kicked over his son, 3 cups, but 2 of them are left upright. Is that the right one I'm thinking about? 5 of Cups. And then Rachel, I mean, this is Delilah. Got this one upside down, actually, but I'm going to just ignore the reversals. 9 of Pentacles. This one is for Delilah. It's a girl holding a goose. Thanks, Michelle, for your anti-Catholic. Oh, that cheers me up more than anything I've read in a long time. This is for Rachel. She's a lady with a bunch of birds inside of her stomach. Have you swallowed a lot of birds, Rachel? What does this one say? 8 of Cups. Rachel, you have swallowed a lot of birds. So, do you feel like you got a lot of birds in your stomach, Rachel? Oh, Michelle. You make sure that it's Christian but not Catholic. Catholics go to hell. Dude, you have some crazy ass fucking beliefs. I can't believe the shit people believe sometimes. Oh, that's so delightfully absurd. Thank you for that, Michelle. I appreciate it. I was like, what is this? Like, did Martin Luther just hammer some shit on the church door or something? Are we still battling Protestant versus Catholic right here? What is this? 1987 in Northern Ireland? I haven't heard such crazy nonsense in a long time. That's absolutely delightful. You know, I read Dante's Inferno, okay? So, I know all about it. You got your lakes of fire, you got your lakes of ice, you get your lakes of icy fire. That's where they invented icy hot, in fact. Which they needed to invent because somebody had to make a competitor to Ben Gay, which had been too gay for too long, and people just weren't going to buy it. I'm streaming because of your email, Mac Daddy. That's really what made me stream. Rome's a city. Cities can't crucify people, Michelle. They don't have arms and legs. That's the problem with cities. When they get up to crucifying things. So, I don't know. It's like the neurologist saw my mom this morning. My dad comes back and says the neurologist says she's got less than a year. And then this afternoon, she's in the hospital. You know, it's like, what the hell? This time frame thing is too abrupt to a shift here. Yesterday, everything was just continuing as normal. Hello and welcome to the Lake of Fire. If you are here hearing me tell you this, you are terrible. I'd like to introduce you to some of history's worst people. We got Pol Pot here from Cambodia. Go ahead and say hi to Hitler. Yeah, he's nine with the fire. Too bad, Hitler. That's what you get. Lake of Fire. That's what I call the bathtub that I take a bath in. I call it our Lake of Fire. Like a hot bath. I don't think Matt Delhunty would be very interested in my beliefs about religion because there wouldn't be anything to debate about. He'd run into my correct framing of it as a behavior, and then he'd probably correctly point out that people nevertheless use it as a belief, as Michelle's doing here, or treat it as such and make advocacies accordingly. And I'd say, well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously people make public advocacies for wrong reasons all the time. It's one of the religions I'm preaching is let the public business be done in ways that are consistent with the public's adjudication processes, you know? And that is certainly not one of them because it doesn't generalize. It's a behavior it's appropriately categorized as a behavior. And in fact, it's insulting to God to make arguments about God, in my opinion. It presumes that your language usage can subsume God. But you know, that's just my opinion about it, and that's the whole thing about religion is everybody can have their own experience with it. It's like jogging. Don't tell me I'm jogging wrong. You know, don't tell me I'm jogging wrong. Yeah, well, I talked to my dad this morning about maybe taking mushrooms because, like he said, he's battling with depression. He's battled with it before. When he was like maybe 60 years old or so, he quit drinking. He was depressed. I mean, I do lots of psychedelics. I love mushrooms. I talked to my dad about taking mushrooms this morning because he's depressed, right? And he's depressed because of end of life stuff. Sure, I might I might appreciate that link. I'd look at it anyway. I don't think I'm going to end up doing it because, um, I mean, for one thing, I now have access, I know, to a free, unlimited supply of mescaline. Which is kind of fantastic. You know what, though? I'm going to have to do like the guy says. I'm going to have to make the tea with the boiling the shit down. It's gonna be a couple of day process to make a bunch of dosages. Mescaline is the psychedelic in peyote, but I'm not getting it from peyote. I'm getting it from this stuff called San Pedro cactus. It grows all around here, and it works. I learned last night. I ate a bunch of them, and ate a bunch of pieces of the dark meat of the thing, and uh, anyway, it works. It's just I needed probably to take twice as much as I took last night, and so I'm not going to eat all that much cactus though because it also gave me the runs. Well, first it made me just incredibly flatulent all night. I was in bed. Rachel had to move to the floor. I mean, she probably didn't link specifically to my continual farting, but it probably played a role, you know. I don't know. It wasn't inconsistent with the fact that I was just farting so much. So that's one of the side effects of eating San Pedro cactus that I didn't read about on the internet. Nobody mentioned that it makes you just gaseous beyond all reckoning. So, I'm going to try the tea next time. Rachel and I will do it together. I did read something that says SSRIs make you trip less hard. And Rachel's on SSRIs, so it's unfortunate, but she could maybe take more than as a consequence. But I don't know. They also say that about mushrooms, and she tripped plenty hard. Yeah, I'm an ENTP. And it certainly is relevant to the current stream, current topic. Um, Dealing with death. I want to show my dad the Netflix thing I saw on people taking mushrooms dealing with end of life stuff. And if in fact I could convince my dad to take mushrooms, I would love for I'd love to take mushrooms with my dad. Me and my dad and Rachel take mushrooms. That'd be fantastic. I would love to get Delilah to take them too, but she's not really that experimental, I guess. Oh yeah, I take mushrooms all the time. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are my absolute favorite. If I had enough of them, I'd eat them like every 3 days. I'd just eat them every time I was able to get mushroomed out again. But you gotta take a break in between doing them sometimes, or else they stop working. But I can't afford to stay. I mean, the thing is, if Rachel and I spent our drug money more smart, we could afford plenty of mushrooms. We kind of wasted on whippets, you know. But regardless, my next order of business before taking mushrooms or getting mushrooms again, because I'm trying to be more frugal this month in general, so we're not so broke at the end of the month. Um, 65 is the end of life for people that junk up their lives and medical issues. Beyond that is genetic and people with mental knowledge of health. Well, both my parents are in their 80s, you know. No, I don't hallucinate entities. I do. I'm as I've said many times before, I'm not really into the whole magicking up my psychedelic experiences. I find I find the hilarity and goodness of the universe very clear, and I enjoy it a great deal. I always laugh a lot. I mean, you can see me on mushrooms. I've got plenty of mushroom live streams. I don't pay any attention to what other people are saying. I just yammer on about shit. I talk to my objects around me. I play with my dolls. Oh, you doll. Oh, you bother play with me. Okay, well, I do. Off your dog, you know what happens. Yeah, I know. Come here. Ow. That's what happens. You got slapped by me. I know. That's why I'm always talking to you, Tiffany. Don't you get too big for your britches. I won't. I'll try not to. Because you don't want me to tell you. I can have, you know why? Have you been getting into the almond milk, Tiffany? Oh, of course I've been getting into the almond milk. Let me go get my almond milk. I'm sad about this whole your mom thing. Well, thanks, Tiffany. That's really nice of you. Did you really have to slap me? That's me carrying a lot. Now just give me my almond milk and I'll be fine. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna drink this bottle of almond milk. It's gonna be delicious. Well, you're not really sitting very well right there, though. That's because you're doing a terrible job as usual. I'm sorry, Tiffany. You better be sorry. You're a horrible selfish-old man. You're a horrible selfish-old man. Give me my almond milk and shut your face. Okay, Tiffany, alright. That's fine, that's good enough. You're doing it wrong again. Why can't you do anything right, old man? Why are you so incompetent? There, how's that? That's pretty good, I guess. Let's try a different kind of light. Try one like this one. Yeah, that's better, see? That's a lot better. No, I'm still too bright. No, you're doing everything wrong. Just use that one, that's fine. No, it's not fine. Not that one either. Wait, that one's fine. That's a little bit better. Now it's her too far, you can't say me. There. Now turn it down a little bit lower there so you can see my almond milk too. So anyway, well, Tiffany's drinking almond milk in sympathy for my situation, I guess. And I'm just sitting here talking about stuff. It would be really interesting and weird to trip with my dad. They're both quiet. I guess ISFPs are a little quieter, probably. There was some interesting talk last night, lol. I think I went to bed, but I don't remember. Huh. Well, last night was fine. Grace Chan? I don't know. I don't care. I don't really want to talk about that kind of stuff today. My relationship with my dad is that of a ESTJ dad with his ENTP son, you know. It's a benefactor-beneficiary relationship, as they say in socionics, which means it's easy for him to benefit me, but it's hard for me to benefit him. They say, I read something in some socionics thing one time that said, Rachel, your free future destiny has just arrived in your email. Thanks to John Hayes Astrology. Every time I try to, it generally doesn't work out well when I try to engage my dad, and he's not really good at trying to engage me. The way he likes to do it is scheduling some sort of thing that we do as a family, and that's fine, but it doesn't really happen all that often. And even though we live in the same house, Rachel and I just mostly ended up trying to stay out of his hair because it's really hard for me to connect with him in a way that he likes. Like, let's say he's watching a game inside, and I go, hey, how about we watch it together? If he wasn't the one who was anticipating that happening, then he's not happy about it. It's like he's got his day planned out and what he thinks is going to happen in the next couple of hours. And if anything I come up with, no matter how simple it is, that disrupts his expectation of what the day is going to be, is not happy about it. So the only way I can really engage with him is to say, like, hey, do you want to schedule eating together for tomorrow night or something? It's like, it's hard to deal with it's hard to be a loving son to my dad. He's the most badass guy ever, and I'm definitely not. He's from the silent generation. It's appropriately called that. He's not afraid to chat or talk or whatever. It's just that we don't talk about our feelings. We never have talked about our feelings in my family. There was a strong countervalued FI going on in my house from birth till now. My mom had 6th slot countervalued FI. My dad had 4th slot FI and an ESTJ, which is pretty countervalued when they see it manifesting in public, in public affairs. My dad is he still is, but was such an ardent atheist. He really despised the infusion of religion into politics. He always has. Thanks, Carlos. It's nice of you to say. Well, I'm not. There's nothing about me that my dad can respect, really, is what it boils down to. He just. He. he's got this weird artist kind of eccentric son who's not very responsible, and he sees himself as having somehow not been tough enough on me as a kid or something. And that's what created the tragic failure that is Eric. I think that's basically his position on me. So, but he's such a badass that he was in the Navy and in the Army. He played the French horn in the Army traveling jazz band in Europe in the early '60s. He raced Mini Coopers in Europe. He was at Le Mans working for the Ford team at that year that they made that movie about. He was with the Ford team. He likes the main bad guy in the movie because that main bad guy offered him a job at Ford when he came back to America. I mean, he's traveled all over the world. He's just, he's built his home in his life the way he wanted to. He worked his ass off for many years, and then he's now played his ass off for many years. And no, he was in the Army band. He was never in any Navy band. He didn't like the Navy because he got seasick. So as soon as his time was up, he re-enlisted, but in the Army instead. Yeah, that's his mom was right, It helped that my grandma was an ESTJ pharmacist as well, so she built up a decent estate. Yeah, he's expressed it to me directly. He's not interested in hurting my feelings and hammering it home or anything, but he's done enough to convey very clearly to me his opinion about me. I mean, he said to me not that long ago, last few months, he said, nobody ever came up with any good ideas after they're 30 years old. It's pretty much a slap in the face, But I don't push back on my dad much, I respect him. I obey him, And I'm grateful to him for being my dad. And, it's like when you're FI polar, you're doomed to be stuck with this thing where, did I care enough about this person when I had the chance to care about them enough? Or was I distracted by my own shit too much? With my dad, it's more complicated than that because he's very conflicted on whether he wants me around him or not in his hair, So it's like I have this, but when he talks things out with me, it's very brief. He has what he says is, well, it's the end game now, and I'm battling with depression. And I say, what can I do to help? And then he tells me, he doesn't answer my question. He says, well, this is what I'm going to be doing next. Nothing really. If I push, he'll answer with, "Oh, nothing really." I come up with some suggestions, and he just kind of looks at me, you know. Oh, he goes to the doctor all the time. He does all of that shit. Everything that's like a regular maintenance thing, dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, car mechanics, even. He'll take the car down to have them find something wrong with it to fix. No, he. Unfortunately, Becky ruined that when she emailed him and threatened to sue him. Well, I mean, my dad has some medical problems, so he's got a good reason. He started really, you know, he he's had both of his eyes have had surgery recently, and when you're in your 80s, your body starts to break down, and even though he goes to the gym every day, but he's also got COVID right now. We all have COVID. I'm not feeling very well. He's like had a fever earlier, and I feel kind of gross and pukey and not very healthy right now. Low energy. The family plots. My dad and my mom wanted to be buried with her parents, uh, my grandma and her second husband, Al. And we have they have the plots purchased for a long time now for my mom and my dad, both next to my grandparents. It's in Missouri. It's the Brandstetter family gravesite. I went back there for my grandma's burial. It's really in the middle of nowhere. Or it was when my grandma was buried anyway. It's a beautiful place, but anyway, the thing is, apparently my mom's the thing that makes this, I guess, hit home is particularly real for me. My mom doesn't have COVID, interestingly, but she's basically stopped eating, and she made it clear on her wishes and legal documents she doesn't want any feeding tubes and stuff. So, you don't eat at all, and you don't get fed by feeding tubes, then you are going to starve to death. And her dementia, I guess, has taken a turn recently. We haven't been to visit her in a while since we got COVID. We basically had it now, it seems like, for a month. Ni hao, 对不对？对呀. There, Waldner. Now you're right. I'm speaking Chinese. Oh, Michelle. I mean, look, my mom's a good 15 to 20 years into dementia. She started getting it in her 60s. It's been a very long, slow decline. So, it is what it is. I don't feel so terribly sad about my mother. She, in my mind, she died a while back. You know, I like to remember the mom I had when I was young, not this shell of my mom. You know. But for my dad, it was a slow boil that he just would adjust as he moved along to the new incarnation of my mom as she went downhill, you know. Until finally we had to move her into the nursing home. Of course, he had already paid in to long term health care insurance for many years. So that helps defer the cost of the nursing home. It has, in fact, the timing of this is kind of, I guess, appropriate. The long-term health care insurance runs out in December, and then he'd have to cover the whole cost of the nursing home. Yeah. So I'm not. I'm mostly sad for my dad, who's alone with people around him, and I feel guilty about that, but my dad's. I still have time with my dad. I really want to do mushrooms with him. That would be I suspect, a really deep and important experience for both of us. Not to get magical about the psychedelics or anything, but it bridges gaps. Yeah, I'm not holding back, really. It's just, I'm not. This is like a slow, kind of throbbing emotional pain. It's not like a sharp pain like when I think about Lacey. Yeah, I said that to him this morning, Michelle. Basically. And he said, I don't know, nothing. I said, what can I do to help? And he said, well, nothing really. I said, well, and then I started throwing out ideas. Well, he doesn't want me to throw out ideas. He doesn't like my ideas. They're fourth slot FI. He likes helping me and stuff, and caring for his family, and he told me some fucking depressing ass shit this morning. Like he feels responsible to outlive my mother, otherwise he would have checked out already or something. You know why that happened, right? Yeah, I know. That's because you stink. I know. I do stink. That's because you're too big for your britches. I know it is. That's okay. Look, you don't think, and you are too big for your britches. But you're still mine. So you're gonna have to stop being such a baby and stop stinking so much. Okay, I'll try. Come here. What? You deserve it. I know I do. That's because you stink. I know I do. I'm sorry you all had to say that, but I had to tell him. He's this horrible, horrible, selfish old man. He needs to be told by somebody that he stinks. It's my job to tell people what they think. No, I think your first suggestion is the best one, Michelle. I just need to do it multiple times. I need to go to him and say, what can I do to help? What do you need? What do you want? And you make a point of doing that multiple times a day. I think you got it right the first time, Michelle. He doesn't want surprises. I can tell you that. He doesn't like surprises. He probably doesn't like the fact that his son stinks. Yeah. Probably true. You think I'd be my son? I know I do. Oh, Tiffany, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Come here. You're such a good person, Tiffany. I know. I tell people when they stink. Somebody has to do it, Tiffany. Oh, you're telling me. If I don't tell them, they're never gonna learn anything. It's like, I had to write that lady. Jupiter, Afghanistan. Uh-huh. I said, Jupiter, Afghanistan. Yo, stink! Yeah, but you know what, Tiffany? You're being kind of judgmental about I don't want to hear from you, stick boy. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Tiffany's a great therapist for me. She really clears things out. Well, yeah, she's not gonna call you as your therapist. She will slap you in the face. I'll start slapping. That's called open hand behavior modification protocol. Open hand behavior modification protocol? What are you laughing about? Come here. That's what it's called because that's what it is. That's how I modify your behavior with my open hand. What I learned from mescaline, that I need to do about twice as much as I did yesterday. Oh no, I just need to just do this. I'm about done streaming right now. This is not going to be a very long stream. I mostly did it because Mackenzie emailed me. And I thought, you know what? A short stream might be a good thing anyway to do for to talk out my emotions. It's not like I can't talk them out with Rachel, but it's kind of better to talk it out with people who are more distant from our actual experience, because it gets me to explain things from a higher level of frame, and maybe helps me to understand them more. With Rachel, I just kind of find her presence comforting, and that's kind of nice. But I also I guess I don't have a protocol for processing emotions. In other words, I don't have an expectation of a significant other to fill the role of help me process emotions. To the extent that I've ever had that role filled, it's always been fulfilled by live streams. That's how I process emotions. Right, but I can't help him with that, is the problem, Michelle. I'm really poorly designed to help him with that. It's funny, Grace. Reading that, it makes me want to say, I don't have a system. There is no system, okay? It's just being right about cognitive functions. I think I'm going to make myself another cup of coffee. And then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to chat with you guys for a little bit more. Then I'm going to turn this off, to stream off, and I'm going to go follow Michelle's advice and ask my dad if there's anything I can do to help him or anything he wants. And he'll probably say no, and then I'll come back here and finish watching Men in Black 3, which is quite good. Coffee tastes good. My dad would be really concerned if he saw this, I'm sure. I just picked this up off the street. I was looking for one for a long time for Tiffany. A little vodka bottle. Because Tiffany likes her booze, you know. It's just a prop, but it would probably trigger some PTSD from my dad from back when I was drunk, you know. None of my family want me to drink anymore. I have an INFJ. She's North Trash. She's in the bedroom in there. She's fantastic. No, she's great with all this stuff, but um, we're just we've just never been a family that's been FI, right? The family has been my dad, who's FI fourth, my mom, who's FI sixth, my daughter and me FI seventh. My ex-wife was FI fifth. The one that knew my parents most, engaged with them as a wife. Like Candace was, family until she wasn't. Unlike everybody else in my family, she didn't like it when I quit drinking. It's not like, even though it was somewhat at her behest, she didn't like Eric after he had quit drinking because he held her accountable for shit, and she didn't get to just push him around with the fact that he was a drunk. Don't process emotions, let them go. I'm not clinging to them, man. I'm not clinging to my emotions. I can't even conceive of what that would be. Emotions just happen to me. Things are sad or things are funny. I cry or I laugh. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know how to process them. I don't know how to hold on to them or let go of them or anything like that. They just happen to me. Like weather, That's polar for you. Well, it's like what I said yesterday, and then when the masculine started kicking in, I started getting slow. It's got kind of a DMT quality in that regard. But FI is like a big muddy pool. Well, what do you see in there? Some brown stuff. Could you be more specific? Yeah, I could look and be like, well, there's kind of like a swirl over there and there's some silt over there. But more or less, it's just all brown stuff. Brown, wet stuff. Oh, I'm not, at the moment, I feel cleansed, I feel like it just rained and I'm refreshed. And I think when I go ask my dad if he wants anything or if anything I can do to help or get him or sit with him or anything, then I'll feel better. But it's like I go in there secretly hoping, not really secretly, acknowledging myself that I'm kind of hoping his answer is no, because I don't really want to do emotions. I just think all of FI is like a muddy pool. The most I can really say about it is it's a bunch of brown stuff. How much more detail can I give you about a muddy pool? Wet. It's brown. There's some stuff in it. I mean, not much more you can say about it. So anyway, Grace, are you out of high school yet now? Or are you still in high school? Where did Grace's thing go? I just saw it. She said something like... Did she remove her thing? She said something like, I don't process my emotions or feelings very much. Mm. So anyway, Winston's mom, in response to your comment here, I'm going to re-sing yesterday's song. 'Cause I guess that's why they call it beef stew, filled up with carrots, onions, potatoes, and all kinds of red brown stuff. Yes, I guess that's why they call it beef stew. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to follow through on my little plan I had there. I'm going to end the stream. I think you should go do a big lots of a stinky sod. It's really, really late now, isn't it? You had many years to not be stinky. And you just went stink, stink, stink. Yeah, I know. Well, you better finish talking with your friends here. Your stupid friends. Hey, don't call my friends stupid. Well, God, you're coming hang out with me on Monday. What is my channel? It's called Monday's Club. It's horrible service of mine has only got us like 500 subscribers. It's terrible at everything. Come here. Oh, you really got me that time, Tip. Oh, you deserve it. Okay, you're right. Alright, so I'll see y'all later. Thanks for being here. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.